Hey, my beautiful people, welcome back to another episode of Whip It Like Butter. It's officially holiday season, so you know what? My butter pecan, y'all. Yes, indeed. Don't sleep on this recipe. Now, a lot of people don't make it to holiday season, but it is so good. Do not sleep on this recipe. So, let me put this down because it's heavy. Okay, so we made this pound cake with toasted pecans this time. I made this regular version, so if this is too big for you, I do have a regular version of this recipe on my website. Toasted pecans in this one. You can also toast the pecans in the last recipe I did. Just grab the instructions from this one. This is a treat, y'all. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into the video so I can show you how to make this cake. All right, let's go. Okay, y'all, so let's go ahead and get our toasted pecans together. We're adding our softened butter into our skillet. Then we're going to come in and we're going to break that up so it can melt a little bit faster, okay? Here we are, almost melted. We're going to go ahead and add in our extract. Just a little bit, like a teaspoon and a half of butter extract, okay? And then we're adding our pecans in here. You could have added the vanilla after the pecans, what have you. Just make sure you get all that together, and we're going to give that a nice stir and make sure that the pecans are covered with the butter. We have this on like medium heat, medium low, not too high, not too low, okay? You want to let these saute for about a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and give them a nice stir. Occasionally, we add in our light brown sugar here, giving them another stir. Let them toast for a few more minutes and then go ahead and remove them from the heat, okay? You want to make sure that you let these completely cool before adding them to your cake batter. You can go ahead and drain off the residual butter because you will have a little bit of residual butter that's left in the pecans. You see how it kind of, foams up. That's what butter does. That's okay. You just want to make sure that you don't add all of that extra butter into your batter. All right, and it's a good idea to move your pecans into another bowl to complete the cooling process, just to speed it up a little bit more, okay? Get it out of that pan. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start getting our butter whip. This is 4 sticks of room temperature salted butter that we're using for this recipe, okay? Salted butter really boosts the flavor of your pound cake. Now we're adding our sugar in a little bit at a time, all right? I have my mixer at about a 1 or a 2. It looks faster because the video is sped up, but it's not higher than that. You can go higher when mixing your butter and your sugar. I wouldn't go higher than that when mixing your batter. Now, don't be like me and forget to add the light brown sugar, y'all. The light brown sugar is what really makes this cake come out, okay? Don't forget it. Light brown sugar over dark. You can use dark, but I prefer light with this recipe, all right? 3 cups of granulated sugar, 1 cup of light brown sugar is what you need for this recipe. All right, so we're here what we need as far as consistency for our butter and our sugar, and so we're gonna go ahead and get ready to add our extracts to the batter. So we're coming in with vanilla and butter extract. There is a butter pecan extract. I saw mixed reviews about it. I'm not opposed to trying it. I used what I had in my pantry at the time. I may give it a try next year, or I may make this cake for Thanksgiving. I don't know because it's very good. But those are your options: butter and vanilla extract or butter pecan extract. 4 teaspoons total of extracts. All right. But since we split it here, it's 2 teaspoons of butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're adding our eggs one at a time, only mixing until combined, and then stop because you don't want to overmix your eggs, all right? You guys see how that batter is getting all velvety? That's what it should do as your eggs are combining into your batter. So we're coming in here with our rubber spatula and scraping down the edges of the bowl. That's very important unless you're using an edge scraper attachment. All right, give that a nice another quick mix before we start adding our other ingredients. Y'all always use the paddle attachment. It's my favorite attachment for mixing. To me, the whisk wire attachment is too much for batters, but it's perfect for icings and glazes. All right, so we're adding our flour to the batter. We're alternating our flour with our buttermilk. Y'all, buttermilk in a pound cake, if you haven't tried it, if you haven't seen me use it 1,000 times already, it's for a reason. It sounds like it's bitter and all that type of stuff. When you combine it with all the ingredients for this pound cake, it's amazing, all right? So you want to start with your flour and you want to end with your flour for your pound cake. All right. So we're gonna give that a last mix only until it's combined because y'all know we come in and we do the last little mix by hand. Okay. All right. So here we go and stop. So here we are getting ready to do our last mix by hand. So I started and then I went ahead and added in the pecans so we're not overworking that batter. Now I split my pecans in half. If you want to add like two cups of pecans here, then use the rest for your icing. It's really up to you. That's just how much I wanted to use for my batter. I probably could have went a little bit more heavy with it, but that's just what I chose. All right. At this point, you should have your oven preheated to 325 degrees because all we have to do is spray our pan, spray the hell out of our pan, and put our batter into our pan. So here we go with our pastry brush, making sure we get all into the creases of the crevices. This one don't have a lot of crevices, right? But all the all the areas of the pan, you get the idea. Give the give the baking spray a nice even coat. This is the only method I use. There's also cake goop. There's also in my group they've talked about prepping the pan like this and then putting it in the freezer. There's the flour and oil method. It's so many different methods. Figure out which method works for you and stick with it, and you'll have a perfect release every time. All right, here we are laying our batter into our pan. And then y'all know how it goes. We spread the top evenly. Y'all, spreading the top evenly is very important. Somebody asked me recently why the top of their cake is coming out crusty and breaks. It's possibly because of the way that they're smoothing their batter and not smoothing the batter at the top of the cake. Very important not to have gaps when you're smoothing, for your top area to be flat as possible, and for you to not over bake your cake. If your cake is in the oven and you feel like it's getting done on top a little bit too fast, it still needs more bake time, you can simply lay a piece of foil on top of your cake. Now this is when the cake is almost done, so it's not wet, so it doesn't stick to the foil. Lay a piece of foil on top of the cake and just, it's called tinting, and place it there, and then check on your cake in increments until it's done. That tends to work. Okay. So we baked this cake for an hour and 30 minutes. Took it out of the oven. We let it cool for about 10-15 minutes in that pan. It's long enough in my pan, y'all. Please don't leave your cake in the pan until it cools, because what happens, cakes continue to still bake while they're still in the pan. You could possibly have an issue with the cake sticking. All right. So I showed y'all how I gently move my cake so I'm not jostling it and causing an issue, especially when I get ready to do my release. Okay. In my opinion, manipulating your cake too much when you're trying to remove it from the pan can cause an issue with your release. All right, so we have our powdered sugar here, and we're adding our cream cheese. I sipped in my powdered sugar, y'all. I liked it. It was cool. So we're adding our what should have been softened butter, but yeah, I forgot to take it out, leave it out. All right, so it's a little melted, a little softened. You want it softened, all right. Then we're adding our extracts into the bowl. All right, y'all know I always keep it real. Everything is not always 100% on point, but I'm gonna tell y'all what the right thing is, and I'm gonna tell you what you can do if you if you forgot, like I did. All right, so we have the wheels turning with this, and we're using heavy cream to add to our batter because heavy cream gives you a thick icing or glaze, if you will. I guess you can call this icing for this because of how we laid it. All right, so you always want to slowly add in your wet ingredient into your glaze so you can control the texture. So if I just poured it in there and it ended up being like too loose, I don't have anywhere to go, right? I have to add more powdered sugar, adjust my other ingredients, blah blah blah. If I add it slowly, then I can slowly reach my desired consistency, and I don't have too much or too less of any ingredient in my icing. A lot of people ask questions, they have issues with icing. Those are my best tips so you can get to your best product. Don't just dump all the ingredients in there at one time. Slowly add them. And even here, scraping down the sides of the bowl to make sure I have everything mixed and incorporated. And then after I give this a last mix, that it's still at the consistency that I want it. All right, it's a process, you know, just take your time with it. My heavy cream is not at room temperature. You can have yours at room temperature. Usually with icing and glazes, I don't worry about it. So I kind of just freestyle with this. This part is a little bit long, but I just freestyle with my icing. I'm gonna go through the process. So if you decide that you want to make your icing like mine, you'll know exactly what to do. Okay, so I kind of went about doing this whole icing thing the long way, but essentially, you want to make sure that you ice the top of it and that you ice the sides of it as well. I'm using an offset spatula. It makes it real easy, along with my Lazy Susan, to take care of the decor on my cake. All right, so I'm kind of feeling my way through, finding myself and what I want to do with this design process right here. I don't want my icing to be too goopy and too heavy. That's why I'm kind of taking my time and guiding my way through it. Then I decided, hey, I need to add a little more icing on the sides of it to get this thing to where I really want it to be. And then I'm coming in with the offset spatula, just holding it in place and going ahead and creating my whole ripple effect around the cake. So if I don't know if you know about layered cakes, a big popular method of decor was called the naked cake method back in the day, maybe a couple years ago, not too back in the day. So that's kind of the look I was going for, where you can still see the peek through of the cake, but you can't see all of the cake. Top the cake with the toasted pecans, and I was like, hey, I think it'll be real cute to put some toasted pecans on the side. You can let your icing set just a few minutes before starting to add your toasted pecans so they don't fall off. All right, they were fine after I let the icing set a little bit. Just to add a little bit more decor, add a little pizzazz, and give this cake a touch of elegance, y'all. It's holiday time. It's perfect for any time of the year, but for holiday time, you definitely want a show-stopping cake and you want it to be beautiful. And I think that we definitely achieved that. So you know I got to give y'all a nice little cut before we get into our taste test. Yes, I'm very happy with how this cake came out. Look at that. And let's go ahead and get into the taste test. All right, so let's see. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Nice, moist, buttery, full of flavor. People think butter pecan is such an old school flavor, but it's not. It's rather, I would say, a classic flavor. So good. Pair this with a side of butter pecan ice cream. Yeah, you in for a treat. Let's try with a little icing. I didn't do that. Me and pecans don't get along too much. Let me not eat too many pecans. That one was good. Nice, light, and flavorful. That's how I describe that. And the pecans on there, top tier. So you know what I want y'all to do. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't be stingy. Truly, please make sure that you share. It gets my content out there. I appreciate you are always watching my videos and showing love to me. Don't forget, the recipe is linked in the first first comment, and it's also in the description box. All right, y'all. Bye. I think I have a little more. We won't eat around those pecans, but I think I have a little more.